Hey everyone, today on Iceberg TV, we're going to be comparing the Plasma Crave to the Plasma Volt. This Plasma Crave is 165 grams. The Volt is in max weight 175 grams. The Volt comes in at an 8.5, 0.5 turn with a 2 fade. The Crave comes in at a 6.5, 5 glide, -1 turn, and a 1 fade. And at first, I wasn't so sure about the Crave, but it's been something that's been in my bag for a while now. And I've not thrown this Plasma one yet. Disc Golf Deals USA was able to send these down to me. So there's a discount code and link in the description below if you want to save yourself some money over at the website. Overall, the profiles are very similar. The only true big difference for me is the Volt is slightly wider, coming in 1 speed faster. You know, I was already expecting it to be a little bit wider in the hand, but let's get this thing underway. Go with the Volt and then the Crave. Yeah, I was expecting the Volt to be nice and stable. That Plasma Volt is very stable. Now let's see how this Crave is. Ooh, that's really nice already. Perfect Crave. The Volt came up super short. This thing is very, very stable. But I just want to point out how nice the plastic looks. The Plasma looks awesome. They use those nice hollow foils on both of these. I'm not sure if all of them have it, but they look super great. And it's kind of the profile of the Crave in hand. And then we have the profile of the Volt in hand here as well. The Volt might be slightly domier, but it comes in a lot more stable. All right, we'll get 2 backhands here so you can really see how they compare. We'll go with the Crave first. We've got a bit of a tailwind here. We'll really be able to trust it nice and flat. Okay, so it's stayed. All right, and we'll throw the Volt on a similar line here. Okay. All right, so this Crave seems like it's a hair less stable than the Plasma and the Cosmic Neutron were, brand new. The Cosmic Neutron was, when it was new, was probably more of a 0.2 for the turn and the fade. This one seems a lot more true to the flight numbers, fresh out of the box. Go Crave and then Volt. You can see that Crave wanting to turn and fade, falling exactly true to how it's supposed to fly. And now we'll have the Volt here, swing this one a little wider. Nice and stable at the end of the flight. So one thing that's really important to me when I'm reviewing 2 different discs and comparing 2 discs is not always to decide which is better than the other, but what's important to me is, are these discs a good 1-2 punch? And so far, the Crave and the Volt are that perfect fairway 1-2 punch, where the Crave is gonna get you those more straighter, more controlled shots. And the Volt is that disc that you can just absolutely trust, full power, flat, headwind probably doesn't matter that much. Unless you have like super arm speed or super beat in Volt, this is like one of the more trustworthy fairway drivers I've thrown, my opinion, after the first couple times throwing it. And then the Crave is just always dependable for those straight controlled shots, but it's also torque resistant, so you can throw it backhand and forehand with relative ease. I know it's a bit sunny here. Hopefully we can still see the discs. We'll go Crave and then Volt. Try and put more of like a hyzer flip to fade on this one. Hyzer flip, carrying straight with a fade. Hopefully with the sun, you guys could see that. Flew basically perfectly. And now the Volt, I can pretty much just trust as hard as I can flat. Fading much faster, just a much meaner, more sort of an aggressive fade, as opposed to the Crave has a gentle fade. The Volt really wants to have that more like swinging kind of Thunderbird type flight. It was so funny watching Simon throw the Volt for the first time when he just joined Team MVP. He was throwing the Volt at those courses in Florida, and he was throwing these like ridiculous 450-foot like hyzer flip to late turns. Like it seemed like the Volt was too flippy for him. And that's just the difference between the arm speed, the spin rate that Simon Lizotte gets versus normal people. Like it's absolutely absurd. Like Simon throwing this exact same disc as me, he's throwing like a up in the air, hyzer flip, late turn. As so I'm throwing as hard as I can flat and getting basically little to no turn. Just crazy the difference in arm speed, how that really does affect the flight of the disc. Hole 4 is going to require a super overstable forehand shot or a super understable like backhand turn. So the Volt is actually going to be pretty good for this shot as long as I give it enough height and hyzer. The Crave, it might be impossible. Like that should be pretty awesome. All right, hole 5 at Eastway. If you play here, you know this is where it can all go wrong. We're gonna go Volt over the swamp here, hopefully hitting the gap and then fading towards the pin. Oh, I hit the, so stable. All right, it kicked into the fairway and it's safe. My only goal was to lose 1 disc max. So we got that one over, so now we gotta risk the Crave too. This Crave seems like, in my opinion so far, the best Crave if you care about the flight numbers. The Cosmic Neutron will eventually beat into the flight numbers, but brand new, it doesn't fly anything close. This guy flies exactly how you expect it to fly. Like I absolutely love that flight. It's so good. I wish that was the first Crave I got. That thing flies so good. The Proton Crave is definitely pretty close to that one, but I would say this one feels a little bit better in the hand and flies. It's got just that little bit more hyzer flip early in the flight. And for me, when I look at a -1-1, that's what I want. I want something that's torque resistant and shapeable that I can throw on a lot of different lines. I could hit this Crave on a turnover line. I could hit it on a hyzer flip. I could just throw like high, let it turn and fade. You can throw so many different shots with the Crave. And honestly, when it comes to playing disc golf and the discs that I like discs that are fun. And the most fun discs are the ones that you can throw on multiple shot shapes that aren't just like dumping hyzer discs. And dumping hyzer discs have their time and place, but when you play in the woods a lot, they're not that useful. And second, it's just not as fun when the disc is only capable of one shot shape. So much easier just to be able to have kind of that do-it-all disc where I can throw those hyzer flip shots that still finish stable, or if I want to throw it flat, I can get it to turn and stay straight for even longer. But I think if I still lived in Florida, where most of the courses are relatively open, and you really do need to lean on those overstable discs because it's super windy as well, then I would definitely be throwing the Volt a lot more as the primary shot on most of the holes. But the courses kind of dictate what type of game you're forced to play. So if you play a lot of wooded courses, you're gonna need those slower, less stable, more shapeable discs. But again, if you live somewhere open, you're gonna want those faster, more stable discs so you can just lean into spike hyzers, flex shots, and know that you can trust these discs even in heavy winds. I know the sun's probably killer right here. We parked the water hole with the Crave. We parked this one as well. Maybe I'm a little biased because I've been throwing the Crave for a while now, but I just love throwing the Crave on these hyzer flip lines. And that still, I'm thinking that these are an excellent 1-2 punch because you could put these 2 fairways in your bag and not need any other fairways. Anytime you're dealing with heavy wind, you want to throw like a flex forehand, power shots, you can throw the Volt. And anytime you need finesse, straight shots, turnovers, you can throw the Crave. Like I could go out and play almost any course with these 2 discs, a mid-range, like a meteor, and a putter. And I could feel like I could shoot pretty well basically anywhere. That's just because these are such a good 1-2 punch. It would definitely be worth getting both. All right, this is where the Volt should shine here with the overstability. Hit the gap, let it fade. Hit the gap, very stable. It hit one of the trees, but still had enough speed to skip. And then we'll throw the Lizotte turnover that I may or may not be able to do. Oh! I think I just became Simon for one shot. Man, that Plasma Crave. If you don't own a Crave and you're on the fence, a lot of people will tell you to get the Cosmic Neutron, but I think that those are way too stable for what you think the Crave is supposed to do. And the Proton is like a step down in stability from there. And it's pretty good. It probably flies like a, whatever the numbers are, and then 0.51, like not that much turn, but a little turn. But this Plasma Crave is a full 1 turn and a full 1 fade, flying absolutely awesome all day long. I feel like, I mean, this is my first day throwing that exact disc, and I feel like I have absolutely like 100% command over each and every line. And I don't always feel like that when I'm throwing discs. So I'm really enjoying that Crave so far. All right, we got a couple holes left. Both of them are the last 2 ace run holes at Eastway. Oh, I did it. Two good runs. So I was definitely toying with the idea, instead of Crave versus Volt, doing like all 3 Craves compared to one another. And if you guys want more Crave content and you want to see like a little more in depth the differences between the Plasma, the Proton, and the Cosmic Neutron, I'm still super happy to do that as well. I really love throwing the Crave. Like, anytime I come out and throw any of these MVP fairway drivers, it's always super fun, especially when I get to throw the Crave. So any excuse to throw more Crave shots, I'm all about it. So if you guys want to see a Proton, Cosmic Neutron, and Plasma comparison, let me know in the comments down below. If just a few of you let me know, then I'll definitely get that out to you very soon. All right, guys, let's do a quick final breakdown of Volt versus Crave. Again, I can't say enough. I think these are the perfect 1-2 punch. The Crave coming in exactly as the flight numbers. I can't recommend the Plasma Crave any more than I already have. Super fun to throw. Fairly flat compared to the other Craves. A little bit flippier than the other Craves. Just absolute butter on those hyzer flip lines, turnover lines. Just the absolute do-it-all fairway driver. So absolutely love the Crave. If you live somewhere super windy, you may struggle with it because it is on the flippier side. But if you need a shot shaping disc, you play in the woods, you have slower arm speed, this is a must-have disc, and I couldn't recommend more in the Plasma plastic. Really, really awesome run of the Crave. Now the Volt, it could be definitely hit or miss. It just flies like a super overstable, slightly faster T-Bird. And I definitely think the Volt is more of a disc that's designed for the pro level player, or a player with really high arm speed, a lot of experience, or someone who just releases everything on anhyzer, backhand and forehand. Like, it's kind of that flex forehand disc, flex backhand disc, or if you want something you can trust in really windy conditions, especially headwinds. But overall, I think the combination of these two is an absolute winner. And I think if you're bagging a Crave, you definitely should check out a Volt, because when the Crave is too flippy, you can just pull out the Volt. And if you have a Volt, but you can't throw shot shapes like Simon or Conrad or any of the other pros, this is gonna get you that shot shape that you're looking for. Big thanks to Disc Golf Deals USA. If you wanna save money, the link to their website is in the description below, and there's just discounts basically everywhere in the description below. You can get whatever you need. Just go to the description, use my discount code, and you'll be able to save money wherever you wanna do your disc golf shopping. Plasma Volt, Plasma Crave, 2 thumbs up. Really, really fun throwing them today. You guys are watching Iceberg TV, and take care.